So a new War Bond dropped, and I was on vacation, and I was unable to review it, unable to play with it, but I was so excited. This is the first time that I've been away when a War Bond dropped, so it was like that anticipation, like Christmas morning, right? Like, oh, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna get the new War Bond, I'm gonna play with all the new guns. I can't wait to see. I didn't even look up what was in the War Bond. I didn't know what new stratagems we were gonna get. I didn't know what new guns we were gonna get. I'm gonna save this and unwrap it like a present the day that I get home so I can enjoy it fully. I'm not gonna spoil anything. And then when I finally got home and finally paid the $10 to unlock it because I don't farm super credits because I'm bad like that, I was disappointed. And this is a new kind of disappointment because I really fear that this is really writing on the wall for what's next to come. The community was very vocal in that they did not want stratagems to be a part of every single war bond, and I agree with that. I understand that people don't want to have to pay for having access to stratagems or grind to unlock them. I understand that there's a lot of people who feel like if something's not unlocked, the game's not complete, and so they have to sit there and grind even if they're not having fun to unlock it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But with so many war bonds already coming out, we're at a point where there's so many guns that it's hard for them to release a gun that's going to be even usable, right? Unless the gun is brokenly overpowered, the fact of the matter is there's other guns that are already going to do similar things. And that's kind of what we run into here is that, yeah, there's a new shotgun and it's kind of cool that you can switch the rounds of it, but there are better shotguns. Why would I bring that one? Same thing with the submachine gun. I feel like the submachine gun was a huge miss. Yes, it's got medium piercing, but it's not one-handed like the other submachine guns, which means why would I ever bring it if I want to bring a submachine gun and not have the one-handed feature, which is like half the reason to bring a submachine gun. So if you're not getting it for the guns and you're not getting a stratagem out of it, you're left with armors, cosmetics, and a booster. And here's the problem with the armor, and this is something I've brought up multiple times, but because it's a problem again, let's talk about it. There are certain armors that match certain playstyles. In every one of the videos, you'll see that I'm always wearing the Butcher armor because I love having the extra stims, the extra long stims. It matches how I play the game, and I enjoy playing the game in that way, which means I basically wear no other armor. Now, I know that's a me problem. You could say, well, play a different way, and you'd be absolutely correct, but I know there's a great deal of people who play the way that they want to play, and they typically aren't switching up their armor except for once or twice. Maybe if they want to use a flamethrower once, they use the flamethrower armor, or use gas, they use the gas armor once or twice. But for the most part, I feel like most people sit on the same armor with their favorite passives. And I know that Arrowhead has said no to this before, but it's at a point where we need it. If you're going to continue to release armor, and cool armor, don't get me wrong, the armor looks is fantastic. I wish I could wear it. I wish I could use it. I just don't enjoy the passive that it brings. Give us the ability to paint the armor over other armor, some sort of transmog system, some sort of, what do they call in Final Fantasy, glimmer system, something so that I can change my hideous armor into one of the other armors that I've collected, and I would love to shake it up and change the way that I look on every single dive. I would do that, and I'd feel much less ripped off by collecting all this armor that I'll never wear if I could use it for some purpose. Arrowhead, I know you've said no to this, but at this point, you can only wear one armor per mission, and for the average gamer who's only playing 1 or 2 missions a week, a night, whatever it may be, that means they're not rotating through the vast amount of armor that they do have. Give us a reason to use those other armors. And I don't mind you selling cosmetics. The cosmetics you gave us, the new skins, are awesome, but lean into it and give us cosmetics for the armor, please. And this leaves us now with the booster. And I don't quite know where I'm going to put the booster yet. I've talked about this a few times that because there's only 4 boosters, that typically means the same 4 ones are brought every single time, and those are typically the 4 most useful or powerful ones because everyone wants to have their booster be effective for the entire match and impacting the game for a long period of time. That makes sense. I know some people call it meta seeking, but that's just human nature. Why would you intentionally choose the option that's going to make your team worse? Like, that's not being a team player. That doesn't feel good. So when you add a booster, inevitably that means it either has to be one of the 4 most powerful boosters in the game, or it will never be used. Or even worse than never being used, it'll be a detriment to your team. I've seen a lot of people who are on the team of, if you bring that darn flame booster, that means all the pods come down with flames, you're getting kicked instantly. And so you can't even play the way you want to because you'll be kicked by the community. Granted, you can host your own game and that's a whole nother thing, but the point is that nothing should be so detrimental that other people feel the need to remove you from the team because it's harming the team so much. Is Dead Sprint that way? I don't think so. From the limited time that I've had to test the Dead Sprint, it seems like the damage that it does is so small that I don't think people are going to call it a hindrance to the team, and I do see some times where it's definitely beneficial, especially me always wearing heavy armor. It gives me the ability to outrun Bile Titans, and because I'm running stim armor, I basically already have unlimited health, so that little bit of health drain to be able to run faster for longer, I enjoy it. I don't think I'll use it in my regular rotation just because the experimental stims and the other stamina boosters and health boosters are just so powerful, but I can see it being useful, especially on those big maps where you're running a lot. I just don't see it being top 4 powerful, but I've got to give it a little bit more testing to be certain. And it's a bummer that this is what the review comes down to. There's 2 guns that no one will ever use, there's armor that most people will never use, and there's a booster that may or may not be useful. That really doesn't sound like it's worth $10. And I've talked about so many times that I support Arrowhead, I buy the packs because I support the studio, I love the game, I want to support them, but I also want to feel like I'm getting value for what I'm purchasing. If you want to make the War Bonds cosmetic focus, do so, but give us cosmetics I can actually use consistently on the armor. If you want to put weapons in there, make them something completely different than what we have. Just off the top of my head for weapon categories we don't already have, we don't have dual-wielding pistols. That could be really cool, like a gunslinger. We don't have a lever-action rifle. That could be really awesome to have. We don't have a melee weapon like a sword or a giant hammer or a trident or something of that nature. We don't have a primary that's like a stalwart that has a huge amount of ammo, low damage machine gun. Yes, we have some bigger like liberators that have like larger magazines, but I'm talking about give us an actual like machine gun primary. Even if it's nerfed, it's a category we don't already have. We have the Arc Blitzer, but that's absolutely it for electric guns. Why not give us some more electric guns? So there you have like 6, 7, 8 different primaries you can use that aren't already in the game, that aren't in categories, that would be something different, so you feel like you're getting a different kind of weapon for different things rather than just another shotgun. I just really feel like we need to start thinking outside the box and doing a little bit more with these war bonds if we're going to continue releasing them every 2 months and having this kind of a feeling with them. There's also so many other cosmetics we haven't even touched on. New voice lines, for example. They give us good emotes, but why not more of the maniacal laughters? Why not more of the "For Super Earth"? Those sort of things. Why not have battle cries? Why not have taunts? Why not expand on the cosmetics rather than just giving us more of what we already have? Now, I know overall in this review I have been a little bit more harsh and a little bit more negative than I typically am, and I'm sorry for that, but I always want to be truthful in what I'm saying, and I just can't recommend this war bond with what it has. Now, would I still buy it? Yes, because again, I want to support Arrowhead, and they have time over time done good by us. They've given us great quests, they've shown that they care about listening to player feedback, they've been making changes to bring people back, they've been doing a lot of great to try and get that goodwill back with the people, so I want to continue to support them so they can continue to work on the game and give us more content. But I am asking for that same respect of, okay, we're giving you feedback on this one wasn't very good, give us a little bit more, or change it up, give us new things we don't have already, and I'd like to see them listen to that feedback. I haven't watched all the videos, of course, that people have made about this particular war bond, but it does seem like the overwhelming majority of people are just like, meh, it exists. It is a war bond, that's all I'll say about it. And we know that they are looking for ways to monetize the game. About 2-3 months ago, they had a listing for a job, and they were specifically talking about wanting someone who could monetize the game, so obviously that is a concern. But if they continue to drop war bonds that get a meh reception, that revenue is going to decrease, and that will only affect the quality more. So, what do you think? Am I missing the mark? Am I wrong? Leave a comment down below if you like the guns that came out, if you plan on using the armor. I literally haven't seen any of the guns or armor in the game since I came back, so I don't think I'm wrong, but tell me if I am. And as always, have a blessed day.